Okay, so now call over this special meeting of the Board of Public Works in the city. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Dear Father God, to thank you for those that are here to serve on this Board of Public Works today, and that we have their abilities and talents to give it into be able to make decisions today that will be for the benefit of this community. We ask now, be with us all today, that they show a light in these cities that we ask your son's name. Okay, it was looking a little different, just to let you know, right side, I know we listed the names of mayoral appointments. One got noted, House Bill 1509, it was enacted, this past year report says July 1st, public meetings was who were appointees are, how they're appointed in the length of their term. You'll see that on every agenda for every meeting, as well as in our building. This is that must be the first one for public we have a special meeting for today for two purposes. One of those is discussion of first read prepare. We also have special event permit application that did barely miss the deadline for the last meeting, so I put it here at the beginning. So I don't know who the spokesperson is today. If you're good, but yeah, if you want to come forward, give your name and just we have your application, so we know who you know what that is.
Oh, good morning. I'm Wade Pierce with Yard Artisan Ales, and we're here to act for a special permit to close down east side of 4th Street for basically for our 5th year anniversary. I want to have kind of a bigger celebration this year, and with space limited in the building and fear of overcrowding there, we were hoping to incorporate the businesses on the east side and just have a celebration for Yard Goes and being here for 5 years in the city of Huntingburg and 4th Street South.
I have spoken to both the street department as well as police department. They're in favor of this. We would be using the removable barriers, not the permanent ones, since it is Saturday only event. That we can put it down, lay them back out in and out during that. I think the only thing, there's a couple of details we're missing. We are going to ask for, since you are going to have other booths there on the stage, or layout of the streets, where everything is, where the tables are going to be placed, that type of thing, to be able to prove there are first safe response people to make sure they get through.
Absolutely. So,
yeah, anybody have any questions? I think it's a great event. We got a lot of people coming in, a lot of other vendors coming in during that day. Not sure who all. We wanted to see if they could get this approved prior to them really recruiting those vendors and advertising. So that's the reason kind of push that through today versus waiting until next month. Do I have anything? Question. Well, can I entertain a motion to accept the application?
good. Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Got a first and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Thank
We'll
you
get
all.
together with you on drawings and Kenley will work with you on that. Going forward, I think we have a few months yet.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys' time and meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. And you can stay or go, it doesn't matter, so.
I gotta get to work, but
Yeah, I figure you probably have it, so you can. All right, next up, with Brad Cooper.
Morning.
Morning, Brad.
Thanks for coming for a special meeting, trying to get this First Street plan going. Air Terra Commonwealth, I'll have them come up and go over more of the plan of attack we got. I think we have a pretty good one. We can go from there.
Yeah, Eric. Thank you. So we've been having some conversations with SRF or Indiana Finance Authority. So this Division B of the project is basically funded by a grant from Indiana Finance Authority. It's called a SWIFT grant. Those funds all had to go towards construction, if you remember. And the project was basically less than what they had allotted for a total grant for the city of Huntingburg. So we had a pretty sizable contingency budget in there, trying to utilize as much of those grant monies as we could. And basically now we're at the end of the project. Mainly the only work that remains is to do the surface replacement work that's out there. And we're sitting really good on the contingency budget. So the whole thought process all along has been, can we do a little bit more work to improve the street beyond just patching what was cut open for the trench, to put the pipe in basically all through First Street. So in talking with Indiana Finance Authority and kind of we've worked with the contractor to try to pull some pricing together. We came up with this idea that I think is going to be probably the most cost effective to try to stretch the dollars out a little bit more. One of the things that we've talked about in the past is that road, whenever they did open it up to put the pipe in, didn't have very much sub base under it, which I think is pretty common stuff you guys could run into. So there's areas outside of the trench that's obviously damaged that need to be repaired as well, mainly due to just the condition of the subgrade of the road or lack of subgrade under the road prior to doing any work out there. So really there's kind of two areas, kind of split it up to talk about, from Van Buren to the west to Jackson. That road's asphalt paved right now. A little bit easier repairs to be able to get that one up to where we want it. But then from Van Buren to the east on the Cherry, that's all concrete. So we've got big square concrete panels. It's ideally we want to replace a full panel rather than just patching through those areas. So we pitched a couple different ideas to Indiana Finance Authority. They agreed. For the area that's asphalt right now, the city has negotiated prices for 2025 for those materials. Basically, that should cover all the work that needs to be done there, which would be to install asphalt base where the trenches were, and then mill and overlay basically the road to make that a much better road through there. They've agreed, SRF agreed that we could use those bid numbers that you already have for that without having to go back out to bid. You guys got really good numbers basically compared to what we see normally associated with a sewer project, not a road project. So that portion, that would be the approach for that, would be basically to utilize the bids that you had, the contractors that you had as low bids that you've got back in November or December of last year. To fix that portion of the work. The more challenging section is the one from Van Buren to Cherry, where we've got concrete to deal with. Obviously, or ideally, I guess what we would like to do is replace the entire panel where the trench was installed rather than just the trench itself. And then beyond that panel to the north, there really wasn't any work that was done there. But that area has had kind of a longitudinal crack in it, and it has settled over time. You see where it's been sealed before in the past. If we have sufficient funds available, it'd be nice to get that fixed as well. So obviously this money has to be fixed, spent on items that are associated with installing the pipe itself. So we can't repave the entire road with it, nor do we have enough funds to do that in the contingency budget. But we do think we probably go pretty far as maybe addressing not only the panels that were directly impacted by the trench that was cut in, but also maybe the one to the north as well. So SRF has agreed that we can bid that work out basically as a separate contract. I think we'll get better numbers if we do that, because we'll be basically identifying contractors that specifically do road type work. So we put together a schedule to do that. If you guys want to move forward, I would suggest we have a motion to move forward in that way and advertise for bid. We'll have to put together a bid package. There is some soft costs, and engineering services costs associated. I don't have an amendment for that today, but I'll bring something forward to you. But even considering that, the least expensive, and it's within the budget that you have remaining of contingency funds, again, from SRF and rural development. So if we would approve it today, our schedule would be to open bids prior to your next Board of Public Works meeting. So that we could be in a position at your next, go to the Board of Public Works meeting, which I think was August 7th. To be able to award the contract, go ahead and move forward. One caveat about this money, this grant money, is we do have to have it all spent down basically by November. They want to see the last pay application to draw that money down in December of this year. We've already had some conversations with some contractors that are interested in the project that have indicated they could do that if we get it out to bid. So,
Do you do the north side as an alternate bid or?
yes, I would do I would suggest we do the north side as an alternate. So then we can basically use as much contingency money as we have allowed if we need to, kind of pinpoint maybe more priority areas on the north side.
Okay, so then you're into Jackson,
Yes.
the paving. What's the timeline on that? Is that gonna be, try to be done as soon as
I
possible?
think Cal is coming in to do Clay Street in August.
Yeah, first part of August,
Yeah, we can-
they're supposed to be here to do second clay.
Obviously, we will get them a call. If we get this approved, we give them a call, get on the schedule, and hopefully do that at the same time.
Okay, and then this is our schedule we're looking at on here.
Yeah.
Substantial completion by
October.
18th.
Yeah.
Okay. And the grant should take care of all this,
Yeah,
both sections.
yeah, the grant should take care of both sections.
Okay.
I think the only other item is, I know we talked about the stone that was put back in the trench, and basically there were number 8 stone brought up to the top 12 inches, and then the top 12 inches is compacted number 53s. With the concrete, we want to go back with 10 inches of concrete of depth, which gives us only 2 inches of compacted 53s. The 8 is compacted as well. What we're leaning towards now, and I'm still having some discussions with our transportation group, is digging out the top 10 inches of 53s and leaving at least 2 inches or so of 53s there, proof rolling that and see that if it compacts well, then we could pour concrete directly on top of that. The panels and the work that's outside of the trench where there's not stone, we would dig down a full 12 inches, put compacted stone in there before we put concrete. So we're not going back. We're not pouring concrete on dirt.
Should bid because better road than what we started with. I think the Pacer rating on that asphalt section is a 4.5. They should bring it up, to that 9 range. And I'm not sure there is a 10 out there after you get done, but we'll hopefully everything, especially with CalCard and their experience utilizing our contract price we had, should be able to do the extra job at the asphalt section. What other questions?
Well, I know we're going to bid. I know you guys talked with someone. Are they on?
Possibly, if everything goes right, they could possibly start in the August, if not September. And they'll coordinate with Red, White, and Brown, and obviously the Herbst Fest and everything, also had discussions with several people.
There are blackout days with Herbst Fest.
Everybody's aware is, wants to work with it, right? We'll do the best we can.
Any other questions?
It's a good game plan.
All right, somebody want to make a motion?
Yeah, actually two actions here. One is the asphalt pavement under the city contract. I'll put a separate item and then authorize the bidding procedure, bidding schedule.
Yeah, well, we have to come back and do a deduct at some point too.
Yeah, so this broader picture, under the current division contract, under on most quantities, there's a few that went over, but the balance is gonna bring money back to the table. Taking that into consideration here, that could also go back into the contingency, so we wanna try to utilize as much as we can.
So there will be possibly either budget or change order to show the excess funds that were underspent in each of those categories. Try to combine everything together once we get a final accounting. and approval from SWIFT. The
Yeah.
agencies and all the agencies that have to be a part of that, state, federal agencies, on this project all the way through. So we're on their timeline too. All right, I have a motion to approve utilizing contract pricing for the asphalt between Van Buren and, excuse me, Jackson and Van Buren.
I'll make your motion.
Got a first and a second, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. We need a second motion to be able to accept for us to advertise bid for concrete and the scope of work to be developed by Commonwealth in order to have out by bid by date here next week, pretty much.
Motion made.
Second.
Got a first and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, motion carries.
So do we need to have a bid committee? Do you have that
Yeah, we generally, if you have we're opening bids, you're gonna open those on the fifth.
on the fifth?
Yes, and so you want to appoint a bid committee. I think typically you use the mayor, the clerk treasurer and the superintendent. Again. So the board will appoint a bid committee.
Yes, Bill's suggestion is that it, as it has been in the past, that it be the mayor, the superintendent and the treasurer. That open those bids, secure the bids. That would be done on a Tuesday. Information, we would review those bids to Commonwealth, make sure all the items that are in the bid are correct and they're properly bid. And this will be a Davis Bacon too, and there's some other qualifications we have to look at. We would then present that 48 hours later to the board of approval. You'd probably have it, the day to be able to approve prior to the meeting, so. I'll make the motion for the bid open committee. Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And as always, the opening of the bids, board of public works is free to be there too. It's not closed to you by any means. You just have to have an official committee that comes in and reviews those. Is it city attorney Phil Schneider? On Stickle. Any other items?
What's the plan from Jackson to 231? Is that done repaired or gonna be in the plan someplace? About blacktopping from Jackson out to 231 on First Street.
Yeah, that'll be future because it's utility work that has to be done there. We're also not certain right now. With one tenant there that may be changing their drive locations, and that would incur, of course, moving some of the curb and reinstalling curb down to that area. We're still waiting for them to give their final decision, and we'll do some other utility water work and stuff down through there. We've had some water breaks through there.
We have some wastewater work to do in there also.
Possibly next year on that.
Yeah,
Hopefully we can get that sewer main replaced this year yet.
and we'll work with the private entity on what their plans are. I think they're ready for something, so. Get it all done at once. Cause to your point, it's ugly, so it's not in good shape, but look, we gotta fix what's underneath first. All right. All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion made.
Chris, second.
Second.
Got a first and second for motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion has passed. We're out here at 8:49 AM. Thank you.
Thank you.
What it is.
I
I gotta get work.
Yeah. Do what we, you need anything.